course, this is Prison Stories 101, to which you have mentioned that a commodity in prison in your time was from the blacks and the Mexicans. When a white boy comes in, a white man comes in with commissary, that there will be like meetings about, wars that will happen to attack what that is. Was it only like white men, like no Chinaman, no or Indian? It was just strictly like white men was looked upon as prey if they had if they were green and they had money on their books, and just
well, if they didn't have money. The thing about white guys is that they are like the least of all of them. If you got to remember, you don't hardly catch too many Chinese in prison. Not when I was in prison. You may get one out the whole unit. When I was in prison, I never seen a Chinese on the unit. Never seen it. But it was either 60% black, 40%, 35% Mexicans, and 5% white. And so, but when you saw a Caucasian come in, it's like he got to have money. Just by him being a white guy, you have the blacks looking at him because they feel like he got money, or they can sell him, or turn him out to a female. And so what happened is, it depends, you know what I'm saying, who get to him first and get up on him. It depends. And if he come from another unit, he may came and got transferred from another unit, and somebody sent a kite out or sent a letter out, say, hey, this white boy come over here, I want y'all to, put him under your wings. So, but when a white guy come into the prison system, man, I feel for him, I ain't gonna lie. So because they be willing to kill for him because they want to turn him out. And the reason why, it's not necessarily because the white guy is weak, but it's just a majority. And so you only have a handful of whites. In some units, it depends on if they send them to a unit with majority of whites at. And so they'll join an Arab Brotherhood, or they'll join some type of white gang that makes them feel complete or safety. But in prison, man, it's a jungle. If they see some sense of weakness, even as a white boy, say he had heart, say a big old white boy, he can make it, but he still go through the challenge. He still got to go through, some people to be able to feel comfortable. And then he'll fit in with some white guys that's been there for a minute. But here's the crazy part about it. You see some white guys tatted up and everything, but they didn't got meat ran up in them. They've been raped, or they didn't, went through the process. And after they stayed there and figured the prison system out and be able to feel like they're, a man now or whatever, then they still try to stand up for other Caucasians. But some of them guys that you see in prison, white guys, teeth knocked out their mouth, or they may be tatted, they bald headed and all. Some of them may have went through a process of being raped, but came on the unit. Some of them, done got knocked out, or some of them done been there to where they didn't feel they've been on the unit long enough, and they made it graduate to a certain respect, or people just leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? Especially they old school. They don't want no old meat, but some fresh. That's why they call fresh meat. When you come in prison, they say, "Oh, fresh meat, fresh meat, fresh meat, fresh meat." And so these are the guys they go after.
You had said that some men will get sold. Was that a thing? Like you will sell something like?
Yeah. You sell them. Like you get a white boy, you might sell them for about $500 worth of commissary. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll get somebody to put some money on your book. Sometimes you have these white guys that come in, they get their family member to send money on other people's books for them and say, hey, look out for my son, mama. Hey, send him fit out, he looking out for me. You know what I'm saying? So you have somebody on the outside send the person that's looking out for you money on your books.
Yeah.
Penitentiary is crazy, man.
Yeah, man, to hear that, it makes me wonder. Yeah, it's crazy. Can a person buy his freedom back? I mean, just within, like, can I just?
No, that ain't work. You can't buy your freedom back for what? Nobody gonna let you get out that way. You ever seen that movie about American Gangster, about when a man tried to equalize, try to pay that man to get a prostitute.
Yeah.
And he said, I make more money keeping her than you just giving me this much money. So you talking about doing time. They're going to make more money by keeping the person than to set them off to you. You know, it don't make sense to them. And that's just how it is in prison. You know, you can't pay your way and say, hey, I'm going to give you 500. Even if you pay somebody 500, ain't nobody got that kind of pull. Now, I had that kind of pull. I had the kind of pull where if a white guy came in and I tell everybody, hey, he cool, that's a different kind of relationship because I had enough respect on the unit to where I can speak on you and nobody ain't gonna want to mess with you because you got to mess with the whole unit. It don't make sense. So I can do that, but I don't have no. I didn't try to be a Superman for certain situations because I understand how the penitentiary function. But if he said he was a Christian, oh, I automatically speak on it. I done did that several times. Some people use me and got away with a lot of things. They really wasn't Christian, but I thought they was, and I find out, they, messing with another man on the side. So when I find out that you using the Christian faith and you knowing that I got respect, and I find out that's what you're doing, I pull it away from you. And so, but if I find out you're a Christian, I'm willing to lay my life down for you. So I'm not gonna play about that. Somebody told me they're a Christian, and we done did many times. I had a couple white guys, say they're Christian, and I told the Mexican told the brother, hey man, you're a Christian. So y'all gotta get up off of him, because I didn't allow people to take advantage of Christian. And especially the respect that I had, and I can speak on it. I don't have to go through no process, no paperwork, ain't got to talk to no group. I had enough respect to say, hey, that's my brother. Everybody knew it. They tell everybody, that's it. And there no going back and forth if I spoke on it. So different thing.
What was the longest cellmate that you had? For how long?
They do 2 years. They at first it started out black and black cell, black and black in the cell, white and white, Mexican, Mexican. But they did a lawsuit, and so they made him change it up before I left. You couldn't do that because you're showing the sign of racism. And so they put black and white with cellmates. It depends. They still had their way doing it, but they had to mix it because if they didn't, they can get sued.
Did you have one that you just kind of took a liking to, that just like, damn, either you left either he left or you left?
Well, I had a Mexican selling came, and I just come on the unit. You got to remember, I'm a micro unit, so I kind of got micro unit sold down. And so I'm at micro unit. Then a Mexican came. He was like about 18. He said, he was my cell. I said, what's up? He said, none. He was a little nervous. I said, you Christian? He had a Bible. He said, yeah, I'm Christian. I said, so you Christian? He said, yeah. I said, okay. He said, so homeboy said, ese varón. Well, he was still, he said something in Spanish. He went to the door. He said, yeah. Where you from? I said, I listened to him. So I said, he was acting nervous. I said, what's up? Because he don't know who I am. He don't know. The Mexican that's hollering at him don't want no problem with this guy in this cell. And nobody on the unit want a problem with me. But he don't know that. He's just looking. He don't know who he in the cell with. And so he said, ese varón, you Christian? He said, yes, sir, yeah. He said, listen, you're gonna ride with me until Jesus get back. I say, okay. And he got nervous. I said, what did he say? He said, you're gonna ride with Jesus, ride with him till Jesus get back. I said, tell him that you're not riding with nobody. I'm gonna make sure you're okay till Jesus get back. So the essay loved that. Said, He got I said, listen, sit down. I made him sit down. I said, listen, man, you don't have to worry about your essay homeboy like that. He like, oh yeah. I said, listen, do you hear me, man? You don't have to worry about it. So when we came out of lockdown, we came in the thing. I said, you stick with me. So a couple essays. You want to show you? Oh, come here. I said, you're Christian. Y'all know the rules. And I said, you Christian? I said, yeah. He said, okay. Make sure you're Christian. But sometimes, they like to try to hide behind the Bible. I said, okay. But he Christian. Okay, no, Eli, man, you're cool, man. I said, okay. So come to find out, this joker, this how this work. If you're a Christian, you go to church, you do what Christians do. He got caught messing around with another mess. So when I find that out, I pulled for money. I said, hey, Christian. So they took him, beat him up, and took him over there with him. And so that's the dangerous thing, and that's the game I don't like, because I got a heart, and people use that. So I start monitoring people before I start putting my name on people or trying to help them out. And so by the grace of God, I had so much respect in prison to where even though I started to, get soft in errors, because, once I became a Christian, I started to just want to help people, you know what I'm saying? Because I knew I could do it. And anyway, make a long story short, man, prison is just so much game involved. And that's why I tell people, I don't care what nobody say, God got a way, man. God is something. God is awesome. God see things that we don't see. God got it where he knew that all the stuff I did in the streets, from in prison or where I at, he knew he was going to use it for his glory. Because a lot of white guys, they didn't get raped or jumped on because they was Christian. And I spoke on it for them. And I should tell them all the time, hey, guys, I already know it. These are the rules I set. Hey, man, these Christians, we're not going to mess with them. You can't mess with them. And they left it at that was it. Hey, he Christian. Boom. He left it at that. I even had a day room for the Christian guys that we had Bible study. And everybody that come to my Bible study, everybody that was under that, nobody messed with them.
It didn't matter the color?
It didn't matter the color. Once you say you're a Christian with me, you're my brother. It ain't like I'm willing to really, for a Christian brother, I'm willing to go all the way in. I know people say you ain't supposed to fight. I ain't want to try to fight, but I use my respect. I use what I had and the things that I did and how people love me and respect me. I use it as an opportunity to protect the Christian brothers in there from the prison gangs and the prison stuff they do. Because all you had to do, if they saw them walking with me, they didn't deal with him. Even if a brother liked him, want to mess with him, they'll ask, "Okay, can we tell Eli we need to holler at him?" They'll get somebody they feel like, "Oh, say Eli, I think this white guy, he a Christian, but he really ain't. He's saying he's a Christian, ain't no Christian." And I might say, "How you know he ain't a Christian?" You know, and they know I give him that look. How you know he ain't a Christian? Oh no, we just heard, man. He just trying to, play. I said, well, I look into it, but if you're a Christian, y'all looking this way, y'all already know. No, baby, we got you. I appreciate it. And that was it.
Did you convert people to be Christians? Like people who were.
Oh yeah, man. I converted so many guys, man, Joker, being Christian, brother. I started out first being challenged with the Bible. When you're in prison, people, turn to Islam. And they said a white man wrote the Bible and all that. I didn't know nothing about the Bible, man. Didn't know. I grew up in church. I was Bible illiterate. I didn't know who Jesus was, none of that. That's crazy when I think about that. My daddy, we grew up in church, and I never knew who Jesus was. That's crazy. But I never heard of Jesus till I got to prison. But anyway, even if they were talking good or bad, Jesus' name was ringing around everywhere. And so, man, I converted a lot of guys. I had to get converted first because I was going, I was just running around in uni, and it's crazy, but it's real because I tell the truth. A ex-homosexual told me about the Bible. And he had got converted. He had changed. And so one day, like I told you, they used to be gambling in the day room, and they'll make the Christian guy that was sitting on the table move where the camera can't see them gambling and make them move. And one day, man, some dudes, that we gamble, and they went over there and messed with the Christian brother. They said, man, y'all need to go on over there. We finna gamble over here. And out of nowhere, I just came over there and said, man, leave them alone. They're like, what? Where we gonna gamble at? I said, I don't know, but leave them alone. We need to find another spot to gamble at. And so when I did that, I knew then God was tugging on my heart because I had compassion on Christian guys, and I wasn't even a Christian, so at that time. And so, but yeah, man, I done.
Yeah. That was funny. That was the question I was about to ask. You sound like you helped a lot of people out and gave them a helping hand. Was there anyone who gave you a helping hand? Was that the one scenario in which
Helping hand for me in prison?
yes, someone that
Man, I had the devil mean joker. I don't know what a helping hand had in prison. I think the only helping hand I got in prison is when I turned my life over to Christ and I stopped gambling and stopped hustling and stopped doing. And dudes on the unit, they got commissary from everybody out of Dallas and they put it in the bag. I had more commissary than people that go to commissary. I had so much respect. Everybody on the unit, when they first heard I got saved, they made a dude named Frank Nitted that everybody respect. John, some of the Carter boys that went to prison from Carter High School, all of us was on the unit together. And so a lot of them used to get money, they commissary, and they'll put it all in the bag, baby loke them, all of them. And I have, every time commissary come, I had 2 bags of commissary. I had more commissary than when I was, doing what I was doing, but they loved me. Everybody, Frank Nitty said, hey man, y'all know Eli done got saved, so he don't hustle no more, but we're gonna look out for him. So when I got on yard, he told me, he said, say Eli, we're gonna look out for you, homie. Everybody out of Dallas gonna bring you some commissary, man. And that's where you can keep doing what you're doing. Cause they knew I didn't wanna do nothing no more. I didn't wanna get no peanut butter from the kitchen. I didn't wanna do nothing. I didn't wanna gamble. I didn't wanna play no board. I didn't wanna do nothing. I just cold turkey. But after they seen Dallas, even Houston dudes, San Antonio, when they went to tell, man, it got more and more. Everybody started, that's Eli, man. Boom. I had commissary, didn't have to go to commissary. I was just good. God is good, ain't it?
man. Did you ever have a CEO that was your favorite?
Oh man, I had at first I had all the laws against me when I was younger. But when I got saved, I told you, when I got saved, I used to masturbate before I got saved. I used to masturbate on boss ladies, and so I had changed. And by me being on the unit so long, sometimes they don't want you to be on the unit 10 years straight, and then they want to switch you around because you can, manipulate the system and you can, get officers to like you. They kind of try to switch you around. But this particular officer, he knew me from, I believe, Michael unit, and he saw me on Telford unit. He was a CO. He became a lieutenant. He was a sergeant over there. He turned sergeant and lieutenant. He had saw me. He knew how, he knew who I was. He said, Eli, come here, man. I said, what's up? He said, I don't know what's going on with you, but I like it. I said, what you talking about? He said, something different about you. I said, well, I appreciate it, Lieutenant. He said, if anybody give you a problem, you let me know. I said, yes, sir. He said, anybody. So anyway, we had a ride. It was the whites kill a black. And when the white kill a black, we had to get revenge. And so you got to remember, I'm the one that makes calling what we do. But now I done got saved. So now that I done got saved, I don't get involved. So anyway, we was on the yard. It was Sway, Rod Jones. These my partners. These my partners that we on unit. And so it was a white guy. I told him, stay by me, you're gonna be good. But it was like about 20 white guys in the corner, like they little gangs, Air Brotherhood. You got Mexicans, and you got about 100 blacks on the yard. And so I know that when the blacks ain't playing basketball, it's serious. When we on the rec yard, ain't no ball being played, basketball, something bad finna happen. So when I seen the black wasn't playing ball, I already knew what it was. So I told the white guy, I think it's finna be a ride, but you need to stay here with me. He went over there with the white guys, and when the ride jumped off, it was 2 white boys standing with me. None of them got touched. All the things that was going on, nobody came over there where we was. They went with all them white boys over there, even including the white guy that supposed to have been a Christian. I thought he think it was gonna be safe for him to be over there with them. And for you know, they whooped them. His Bible was all on the other side. They whooped him, and I never forget that because I told him stay here with me, but he didn't do it. So yeah, I saw some great stuff, man.
So it makes me ask the flip side of that question. Did you have a CO that was the worst to you, that you just,
oh man,
if you was in a free world, you could
no, I'm gonna tell you something, man. The average dude hear my story. That's why my story is so unreal. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's unreal, Joe. I'm sitting telling you these stories. It's like it's unreal. I hear people say on the, you know, man, that couldn't happen. That dude, wow, no, these nobody, they're nobody. You ask anybody from 86 all the way that's in prison from their uncle, daddy, bring up Eli name, just bring up. They can take my story and turn it into a movie. That's how much respect I had on the unit. That's how much love I had. That's how many people laid their life down for me. Man, it was crazy, Joe. When I was on Mike Unit, man, they started a game, the officer game, and Sway officer, a Chinese officer. He was real big hand, and he whooped inmates. He killed them. He put them in mop room and stick mops in their butt and paralyze them. And so they had a strong game. It was an officer game, and they had a game too. We had the Crips and Blood or MW, but I was well respected, and they could not understand who is this dude that everybody respect. Wade he couldn't understand that, and it frustrated him. And so one day I was walking down the hallway, man, and officer pulled me over. Come here, Eli, give me your ID. Joker. Everybody on Michael Unit that was in line, stop. Everybody stop. And the officer said, y'all going on down the hallway. Big top them, all of them, said, yeah, when you let Eli go. And I said, hey, man, because I know I'm finna get in trouble now. If you got all the inmates, most inmates mind their own business, go and do their time. You got everybody stopping. That makes them think, who are him? Who this dude? What? How did he get these inmates willing to get in trouble or whatever? And they said, man, what's up? But we had a relationship that was so strong on closed cussing that I respected and loved it so much. Big Cat stopped. Now, we never talk about doing this. We never came up with an idea. When Big Cat stopped, everybody stopped. And I also got nervous. He got his 10-4, 10-4. You know, he called a bunch of officers. And because none of the inmates stuff. So Lieutenant said, hey, what's up? Y'all get out of the hallway. Get out. Get out. And they all stopped and looked at him. And I said, hey, man. I said, look. I said, hey. Y'all, I know I'm finna go to SEG now. So if they don't go on about the business, because they're going to think I'm in some type of gang, I done created something. And I didn't. They just had love. So I said, man, I'm good, baby, like that. So anyway, make a long story short, man, this how God blessed me on the things that I did. Okay, after that move they made that move, they locked me up. And I ain't do nothing. They locked me up because them niggas won't stop and on their own. And they locked me up. I got out of solitary. And so Wade wanted me. Wade wanted me. He caught me slipping because what had happened on Micah Unit, anybody that was on Micah Unit in 95, 92, 93, they know about it. And because it was on news, they arrested all them officers. They wanted me. So how we did it, we seen how they was beating up inmates and killing them and doing all that. So that's the reason why I made the top stop, because nobody want them to catch me by myself. So if they mess with me, everybody stop. I just put a 2 to 2 together. And so, but this particular time, I went to the Furman and I came down the hallway by myself. And Wade saw me. He said, "Come here. This the one that's over the game." So it was Wade and by 2 big old officers. Man, God is so good. Listen to me, man. I know God. I know I got a purpose because I done escaped too many deaths. Man's a dude named Big Phil Ward, bald headed, weighed by 350, by 6'9", a big gorilla. Now you got to remember, he out of Houston. I'm out of Dallas. I was walking. He said, Wade, they trapped me in the gym. No, we have a basketball gym where we go and play gym. They trapped me in the gym, locked the door, but Big H-Town having to go around the other door and come in. So Swade and them trying to get me, but I don't want the officer to kill me in prison. So I'm running around the ping pong table. I said, hold up, man. I said, Wade, what you tripping on, man? What I do to you, man? No, you tough. Come on, tough guy. I said, but Swade, come on, man. What I done did to you? Come trying to figure, I know they can hurt me. You know what I'm saying? These officers, man, Big Phil Ward walk up in there, man. He said, hey, man, what's going on up in here? And I said, man, they trying to jump on me, Big Phil Ward. He said, oh, ain't nobody gonna whoop Eli. We gonna tear it up. They scared of him. They know he got them hands, big old ball here, the gorilla, and he can go. But they want to try to handle me. And so they don't want to get Big Phil Ward with me, because me and Phil Ward together, we gonna act a fool with these 3 officers. And so so Big Phil Ward said, Eli coming out with me, or none of us coming out. And so man, I was so glad, man, that man put his life online for me. And it was God, man, led him to be in the hallway at the right time and able to walk in the gym and save my life. Let me show you why people wonder why I changed my life. That was nothing but God, but let me tell you why. After I escaped that day through Big Phil Ward, do you know they come and arrest them a couple days later? The news. Man. So if they were gonna end up getting me sooner or later, but God set it up to where God knew that somebody was gonna snitch on one of the officers, snitch on, and got me up out of that situation.
That is, yeah, no, that's God intervening.
Man, God intervened. Say, Joker, man, I know Wade I seen Wade get too many people, man. I seen him paralyze inmates, break their leg, break their nose, and he don't play. He don't have no mercy. He awesome, and all the officers look up to him because he tell them, we got to stick together. We got to let the inmates know that we run this show down here, and if you don't, you can lose your life. So he put fear in them to make them join the gang, and he did it, and he hated inmates, man. But it was a lady that snitched and got him locked up. The police, they all escorted, got them all locked up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that right there just tells it all, man. Now you had mentioned something about the female CEOs that that you kind of got a liking to. Was there one that you kind of really had your eye on that that maybe had an eye back on you? Maybe you even had a connection.
I had female that liked me, a bunch of female, because of the respect that I had. But it was one white lady. She was a little heavy set. And she told me, she said, you got some of the pretty eyes I've ever seen on a man. She shot at me. And I said, thank you. We was in the kitchen. And I said, okay. And she came back to me again. She said, why your eyelash so long? So she touched my eyelash. And I was looking at her. I said, this white girl, But I know you get free will time if you get caught messing with Austin. But at the same time, you locked up too, And she got a pretty face, but she got a fat body. And so she trying to holler at me strong. You know what I'm saying? But when you're in prison, you fine. I don't care how you look. When you're in prison, everything fine. you know what I'm saying? But one white girl, Satan always plays his game. One white lady, excuse me. I had just wrote a lady that got me out of prison that told me I was coming home. And so she was trying to get at me. But I made sure I didn't talk no awesome or nothing because I knew I was finna go home. So I didn't want to mess that up. And I didn't want to take that risk. Cause you get caught messing with an officer, boy, you in trouble. She going to prison and you gonna get in trouble. So I ain't trying to do all that. And so, but yeah, man, it's many times. I had a black lady that liked me. She was young, man, and she just I don't want to say that on camera, but let me think. I don't want to say that on camera. But boy, I used to masturbate on her and she let me, you know what I'm saying? So but that's a lot, man. That
Yeah, that many years, you would think they,
uh,
they come through and they leave and
they come through. Man, let me tell you something about prison. Inmate got time to think, man. We got the best words. We know what to say. We know when you ain't getting attention. That's why it's not good for a boss lady to get familiar with an inmate and tell her personal business because he gonna be telling, hey, you know what? If I was out here, I wish I could meet somebody like you. You know what I'm saying? You you know, I mean, but you deserve something better. She said, oh, thank you. Nah, for real, for real. You looking handsome too. You cut up, you work it out. You know what I'm saying? Your eyes clear, you know what I'm saying? And you tell them this, you say, if I ever get a chance to find a woman like you, I lay my life down for. They say, oh, that's so sweet. No, I'm for real. I ain't just telling you that. You deserve better. But it's crazy how we can't find that right woman. You end up with the, wrong man with the wrong woman, the wrong woman with the wrong man, and said, but you're sweet. And I can see, and her head blown up every time she come to words, she clean, starch, her fit. They come.
She come and look at she walking by
they
now.
looking good. Cause they like one thing I learned about a woman like to be told she look good. A woman like to be glorified. And that's a problem. And so when a man find that weakness, he get in that door. I don't care what nobody say, man. Let me tell you something. Unless you're a God-fearing woman, it's always a man can crack that safe, man. Always. Because either he's bow-legged, blue-eyed, whatever man you want is in that prison. If you like him tall, short, fat, skinny, bug-eyed, big head, little head, whatever is in that prison. And the conversation is there because most men have opportunity time to think. And they might not catch you right then. They might say, hey, you sure looking good today. Okay. Hey, yeah, why you look so good? Why you do that? Why you come to work like that? Boy, you better go on before you get up. I'm just telling you, I'm trying to mind my own business, but you keep on coming pretty. This mess me up. I'm trying not to look at you, but you look so good. You better stop. It's always a way man know how to crack a safe. A woman her mind is weak. She a weaker vessel. And so one thing about prison, man, conversation, they say Rude Nation, there's always somebody that can crack the safe. That's just where it is, man. You got time on your hand. You know how to think.
Now you mentioned, of course, the situation with the white officer as your time almost getting out. Can you speak on if you remember your first day out as far as what leading up to it, your mentality? Because a lot of inmates don't believe that it's actually gonna happen. They always feel like something at the last minute is gonna stop them from getting out. Can you talk about like what leading up to your time out and also that first time walking out, who picked you up?
Man, I didn't think I was gonna get out of prison, Joe. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't. I had 40 years. I supposed to get out in 2027. So it's a lady. I was in church and I was talking to this chaplain lady and named Miss Mama West on Telford Unit. She gone to be with the Lord. And so when I was in church, she called me in the office She said, Minister Eli, because I was learning, to go through the minister class. And she said, I don't see God keeping you here. I said, what you mean? She said, I don't see God keeping you here for the minute. And I said, well, Mom West, I won't get out to 2027. She said, and this was like in 2000, uh, 2000, this is in 2000, she was talking to me. And she said, what's your TDC number? I told her 593393. So she hit it. She said, when you say you go home, I said, I don't go home till 2020. She said, not on here. She said, you go home in 6 months. I said, no, Mom West. She said, baby, I ain't supposed to show you this, but I'm going to show you. When I saw that thing that I go home in 2001, I grabbed Mama West. I ain't supposed to touch no horses. I said, Mama West, she said, calm down. I said, I'm just crying them down. I said, Mama, is this real? I'm looking at you. She said, this your discharge date. And some lady named had Miss Johnson. This the lady I wrote and said and told her my story, how I growed up and I didn't have a mama at the house. If you ever let me out, I'll never come back. If I do, you throw away the key. This the lady I wrote and said. And she wrote me back and said she believed me. But she didn't tell me she was going to get me out of prison. Her signature was on to let me out of prison. And so I was crying and I was hugging my wife. She said, I told you, baby. I said, oh, God is real. God is real. God is real, like that. And so I ain't tell nobody but my homeboy Jones. I had to tell him. In prison, you don't tell nobody you go home. Because dudes try to hate on you, keep you in there with them. Then they thought I'm crazy because everybody know I don't get out to 2027. And so, but anyway, I told Jones, my boy, man, I miss my boy. He got 2 lives. I said, hey, John, I'm finna go home. So what you talking about? I know when you go home. I'm finna go home, man. Like that. He said, what you told me? I said, Joe, look at me, man. I'm finna go home. Real. He said, what you mean? I said, man, that lady I wrote, she got me out of prison. He said, for real? I said, yeah. He said, you ain't gonna forget about me? I said, come on, baby. I ain't gonna forget about you, man. Look out for you. He said, man. He said, Eli, what you mean you going home? I said, man, listen to me, John. I put it on Jesus. I'm going home, man. I'm going home, man. I said, I ain't coming back either, man. I'm gonna be a preacher one day. And he said, man, what you mean you going home though? Did you get they overturn your case? I said, no. He said, what you gonna escape? What you doing? I said, no, man, the lady named Miss Johnson. She got me out. I wrote her, told her about my story. I didn't have a dad, how my mama died, and all these things. I told her my story, and she told me she believed me. And she got me out. So they shipped me from there to Beto. I went through this little training class. I almost didn't make it out, Joe. And because they take you through a process to see if you got an attitude and see how you deal with it. And they get in your face and tell you, shut up, get in your face. You don't run nothing. Do you hear me? Yes, sir. We have to say, yes, sir. And
break it down.
And they get in your face before you get out, trying to see when you let somebody push your button if you ever get in the free world. Because this case I had to go through this class to deal with my attitude. And man, I almost didn't make it out, Joe, because of my pride and ego. And I'm sitting up here, then you got dudes that come through this class, going through this same thing, like Peter, man, this guy, they know me. All these guys know me from the South. Everybody on this unit everybody know I'm Eli, right? And so, but I had dudes, man, you got to work the program. So they teach you in this program, be your brother, hold your brother accountable. So they catch you eating in line, stealing a tire, extra draws, contraband, you got to drop them in the box. And I got dropped in the box for not holding a brother accountable. They'll write you up. If they feel like you ain't never put a cake in on nobody, you never snitched on nobody, they'll write, you get rolled up for that. So you got to find somebody doing. So in this program, everybody watching everybody. You can't be too flirty with a boss lady. You can't be caught with masturbating. Can't be caught eating twice. Can't be caught doing nothing. So I try not to work the program. I try to work around the program. And boy, they put me on the box. Joker, they put me on the box. Here's the program. You got to get both your knees right here, and you can't move. And you got to be receptive to what anybody talk to, how they talk to you. So now you got to remember now, I'm going through this program. It's mentally challenged me. So one of my homeboys, they make an inmate confront you. He said, Mr. Eli. I said, yes, sir. You got to say, yes, sir. You can't say, yeah, you got to say, yes, sir, to him. Who you think you are? You come from a unit? You ain't tough. You think you tough. You don't run penitentiary. Who you think you are, boy? You don't run nothing with your little self. You run around here with a look man complex. Boy, he going off on me. Do you hear me? Everybody got to say it. You got to say it. Yes, sir. And they have you around the whole inmate, and everybody said, put up on that. Yes, sir. The whole that I supposed to say, yes, sir. So now I'm letting it get to him. He went for saying, like, he said, yeah, you ain't tough. You and ain't your mama. Man, that joker said something about my mama, Joker. It took Jesus and everything. That joker said my mama. I'm looking at him. I'm about to lose my freedom again. I ain't made it out yet. That joker said something to my mama. I went to a zone, and they told me to say yes, sir. I ain't say no more yes, sir, like they want me. You gotta say like, yes, sir, like, yes, sir. Do you hear me? I said, yes, sir. Get on top of it. Yes, sir. Boy, you can't do that in the program. You gotta say yes, sir, and you gotta say it loud. I'm looking at them, and all the thought, the devil playing with my mind. Cause one of my partners, they all looking like, man, do he know who this dude know who he talking to? This what everybody look. Do he know who he talking to? And I'm trying everything in my mind. Man, you gonna let your pride, your ego keep you in prison? But that joker said, my mama, man. He find the button. The other couldn't fade me. You think you run this, you ain't this, nah, you ain't nothing but little, you know what I'm saying? You think you tough, boom, boom. But that joker said, ain't your mama. I done went in the zone. He don't know how much I love my mom. And I'm ready to tear his head off. So anyway, I sat there, boom, I got out there. You couldn't move. And so I got out the seat. So when we went and the officer went home and the people that come in that run the program, I saw that joker on the yard, that PTB. I saw him on the yard. All my partners, right? He like, hold up, man. I said, man, I'm finna check this nigga. He don't play with me. I'm like, now you gotta remember, y'all forgive Bishop. I gotta that too. Forgive Bishop. I'm finna check this dude. This for Eli before I became the bishop. So I know some of y'all gonna judge.
Yeah, there you go.
I said, I'm gonna check this dude. So we go on the yard. I say, hey, man, you showing out in front of them white folk. What you talking about? I said, nigga, I will slap you. Don't ever disrespect me. You talking about, man, you know I gotta work the program. I say, hey, man, I'm gonna tell you one more time. Don't you ever disrespect me. I say, if you ever disrespect me, I'm gonna slap you like that. You talking about, what you talking about, Eli? Man, I'm just working the program. You know, you my homeboy. I say, hey, man, I don't care about no program. Don't show out and disrespect me. Don't ever bring my mama up. Joker, what I do that for? Every nigga put me in the box. Now they call it, that's one step of phrase. Now they call it I forgot that, like the blow off. You gotta go, you gotta stand before the blow off, brother. It's 3 people standing in front of you. And you gotta stand up like this, you can't move. You got to stand up, and you can't listen, and you can't say nothing. You got to set up, and they up in your face calling you all kind of things. I'm sorry, I'm just giving you a thing and say, man, while I'm there, they call blow off, head blow off, whatever. So he said, one of them went to me first. He said, "Oh, Mr. Tough Guy. Oh, you think you just gonna do what you wanna do? Look at you, you little wimp." Just talk. Boom, boom. He start out fade, then the last one go hard. Then the morning in the middle, you get the first one talk. You don't want to follow the program. How you think you gonna make it in the world? See, you still got this penitentiary attitude. Then the one in the middle, he come. He said, "Oh, it's a joke. It's really a joke, man. You actually think you run something? Oh, cause you was on another unit and you think cause you got respect over there, oh, you just gonna come over and you gonna run this too, huh? Boy, then this last dude, oh man, this what they call he supposed to cut your throat to where leave no blood left. Oh, he went in, he got up in my face. And you can't show no sign of not receiving. If you do, you lose your FI and you go back to the prison. That joke got in my face. You don't run nothing. You don't run nothing. You little punk. You don't run nothing. Boy, I'm just, do you hear me? I said, yes, sir. Do you hear me? I said, yes, sir. I'm trying to make sure I don't let him get in my skin, in my mind. But I did good, man. He spit in my face, uh, like you tough. What if somebody run that meat up in you? That's talking crazy to you, This the program. That's how they trying to get in your head. That joker said, what if somebody run that meat up in me? So I looked at him. And then you can't look at him like you intimidate him. The way I looked at him, he know I ain't playing. Say, Joker, I looked at him like, do you hear me? I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like, nigga, I would tear your head off. You just doing this because we in this program. I looked at him like, you might never see me again, nowhere in life. This is where I'm looking at. And but anyway, by the grace of God, man, my partner, I get through it, man. And I made it out of there. I think, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, and most guys might not understand me, and you never been in my shoes. You never seen what I've been doing, so I don't care. But I'm gonna say this. I think everybody need to go through that program. I know it sounds stupid, and I barely made it. It mess with you mentally, China. It gets you prepared just in case, because don't take no one mistake out here to change your whole life. So that program, it challenges you to where it won't be a bullet and you kill him or hurt him. You'll think your way out instead of you making a mistake. It teaches you that when you under that type of pressure, can you think? When somebody confronting you in your face, saying something that push your button, can you still think? That's what that program teach you. At first, I didn't understand it. But the more you get in God, the more you learn, the more you grow up, the more you set your pride to the side. I see why whoever designed that program, man, they bad. That program teaches you, even when guys say they ain't snitching, this how I got them, boy. This how I get you, boy. All these guys that say they ain't snitching, they got a program before you get out. You got to drop somebody in the box. And if you don't drop nobody in the box, you won't get out of prison. They teaching you when
they're gonna break you.
They're gonna break you. And if you try to work the program and get around, you can't get around because they check everybody before they get out. And you been there the whole time. You ain't dropped nobody in the box the whole time you been there. And you only did a couple times, you won't make parole. So miss me with I ain't snitching.
That is an interesting. How many names did you drop in the box?
I dropped about 5, but I'm gonna tell you, they got me on that too. Cause I dropped him on something stupid like he skipped. You can't outthink the program. The program's so sharp. They want you to drop somebody on some by something they can get confronted by. You got to catch them eating, stealing, hogging somebody, gambling, you and everybody in your bed, everybody watching everybody.
It's a cold game. That's a cold game.
But Joe, let's keep it real. Y'all, you know, we talk this street talk. I'm talking about in the prison, man. Hey, man, the reason why they do that, the program is designed to reframe your thinking. Because if you condone wrong, that means you haven't rehabilitate and escape from wrong.
Correct.
So that what they're doing is retraining your mind that when you see something wrong, will you report it? Or will you try to stop? Or will you, when you in the car and your homeboy and them and your pride, hey man, we finna go rob the store, is you gonna say, hey man, drop me out?
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm riding with a gun. Hey man, nah, you can't ride, man. I'm on parole. I can't ride around with no gun. I'm going to prison. See, it's set up. Listen, let me tell you something, man. That's why nobody can impress me. That's why I say what I say on this camera, because there ain't a man in Dallas, there ain't a man in Texas, there ain't a man in the world that can impress me, because I done been there. I seen every man that say he tough, every man that say he's a gangster, every man that say he this. I saw them cry. I seen them change. So nobody impressed me. So I can say what I say and I mean what I mean. And the reason why I'm who I am today and I'm standing here because of the grace of God. Other than that, God, I see now how God set me up throughout the prison. How I'm a 5'2" man and I call shots in prison. Every unit, you know me. Ain't a unit that I don't go on that I didn't do the same thing what I did on Michael Ferguson, Vito, all them units, Teffa. Everything I did on one unit, I did it on the next unit. If I go, they transfer me to this unit, everybody on the unit I already know. Soon I walk in, hey, Eli here, let's have a meeting. We meet in your, hey, baby. People telling stories about it. So soon I hit the unit, it's already there. Because I was a big drug dealer before I went to prison. So like I told you, your name follow you. And I had a heart, and I'm a little man. And fighting was my thing, you know. So I know how to think. So I had everything in my ball court. Even dude that been locked up long, I knew how to, even when they been there longer than me, they changed their rule to click into what I was doing. So I had love. I never spoke on what I did. I don't care. I'm telling the story where people can get a reality of what went down. How did I live my prison life? I didn't live my prison life worrying about who gonna take my commentary. I didn't live my prison life worrying about who this guy is and that. So I'm in a different shoe for most guys that go to prison. I'm that guy you had to come to if you had a problem in prison. If you want to watch TV, come to prison and how to ask another man what I do next or how do I make it. I wasn't that guy. Yeah. I got all my teeth. I ain't lose my eyes in prison. Yeah. I cheated to win. I didn't call you out. I'll steal you. If you're sitting down, if you're watching TV, I'll steal you. So I build a reputation. Then I bust you in the head with something. So I did whatever it takes. It's stupid. You know how you try to build a reputation in the world? I took that same spirit in prison. I want to be the man in prison. And so I did a lot of stuff that hurt me and messed me up for a minute, but God got me out of it because the mindset you in. That's why, you know, I seen a brother, and I'm gonna say this, made another brother lick a shoe and drink piss out the commode in prison. I was that guy. I saw you bullying somebody like that, I'll take care of you. I don't allow stuff like that. It can happen because this dude that's making that dude do that, he's really weak. And dude that's standing around and watching, they weak too, because they scared of him. But guys, you don't have to fear a man. Just die. It don't even make sense. You gonna kill me? And one thing I learned, watch this here. One thing I learned, when they realize a man don't fear death, they don't mess with you. When they realize that I'm not just gonna let you do anything to me, nobody like a challenge, even if they feel like they're gonna win. But if you lay it all down, a man would disrespect you. You tell me lick the toilet, you tell me drink the toilet, you tell me lick my shoe, and you slap me. Well, look at here. All those things is now you're gonna have to kill me. I'm at a point where I have a chance of keeping my manhood. Then mean you whooping me and you gonna I sweat up, go to bed, boom, and I'll be okay. But if you don't stand up, everybody on the unit gonna know he made you lick his shoe, he made you drink water. You don't think he gonna go up in your butt? Come on, man. If I make you lick a shoe, drink piss, I won't make you do whatever I want you to do. That's the difference between me and any other man. When I saw how they ran prison, how they did people, I took it to another level. What level I took? If you looked at me wrong, I bust your head open. Why? Because I'm laying a statement down that I'm not going to play with you. And I made them thought I was crazy. And I might have been crazy. I don't know. I could have been crazy. But I convinced myself and I convinced you, you'll never mess with me. That's the difference between me and the other guy. I don't care how big you are. That don't make no difference. I don't care if you're a gorilla. I don't care if you're a gangster. None of that. If you don't outthink me, then you're in trouble. That was my move. I played chess in prison. If you don't outthink me, I got you.
And that was the thing we always like to end on. Normally we tell these stories and we do this not to glorify prison. We don't do these stories to glorify or want someone to go and check it out. This ain't the 90s. We're having these stories to let people know what actually goes on behind those walls and behind the mentality of trying to survive a life in prison. And normally I would ask you, what advice would you give, a young kid out here taking penitentiary chances? How should he operate when he get in there? But you kind of said it with what every young man needs to go through, which is that exit, that it sounds like they didn't do that. But if there's any other words of advice for someone who gets in this system and may have ran across this interview before they got in, what advice can you tell someone how to do their time?
Here's the thing. Most of these guys in prison, let's be real. I never joined a gang. So some of these guys, they join gang to survive. They think gang is supposed to protect them. And in a case, it does. But in certain situations, like myself, when people's in gang, you had the Crips, you had the Bloods, you had the MW, you had the Bad Boys. Your gang don't save you from a real man. You know what I'm saying? Or it didn't really save you from me. But I've never been the kind of guy, I tell youngsters, you got a pistol, you can be a gangster out here. Nobody stop you from being tough out here. Everybody tough out here. Dude with glasses, you got gay dude. I seen a dude on the video, punk was whooping another man. No, he was punk, but he came to be a man. I seen punks whoop dudes in penitentiary, put them hands on them, and take that meat the next day. You see what I'm saying? So I seen that. So that don't move me because you can fight with your hand. But this is what I tell youngsters that glorified in prison. Prison ain't like what it used to be, but I am going to say that when you get there, you don't know what you're facing. You don't know what you're going to deal with. A lot of them dudes on drugs, K2, and they giving their butt away now because they on drugs down there. They mind blown and gone. But here's the thing. You got to remember the people you love, you might not never see them again. You guaranteed to go in, but you ain't guaranteed to go out. And if you're a man, you're going to be put in a situation where you don't want to do certain things. One thing that I didn't do, I did not try to stay in prison as long as I stayed in. But when I walk in the shower and I see a man jacking off with his thing on hard while I'm walking by, he put me in a situation where I had to do something to him. And you might say, no, just look over. But one of the rules, some dudes show their thing to see if you're going to say something or you're just going to try to ignore it. I made it where if I walk in the shower, if I see your ding-a-ling on hard, you better turn around. When I walk in the shower, because I'm known, some of you guys ain't in that situation. That's why I said it's hard to tell these prison stories because I'm in a different light than certain people. Some of y'all walking out, you see a man, you just go on about your business. With me, there's a no-no because of my standards in prison, my status. And so dudes know automatic turn. Then the dude that with me, we all down together, everybody in love with Bishop. So it's automatic. So I don't have those things. One time it happened, I bust with a T-head. But after that, I don't have those fears. I don't, but I can tell you this, you ain't me. I can tell you this, the reason why I ended up doing the things that I did in prison because of the grace of God. And the reason why I had so much love, because I had a heart. And I knew how to fight, just to be honest. I boxed before I went in prison. And I knew how to think. My head ain't big for nothing. And so you ain't me. But the biggest thing, I had God on my side. God had a purpose for me. So God allowed your name to ring and be known for his own purpose because God knew what he was going to do with me. God knew I was going to meet Joker, but I didn't know. God knew that I was going to be on Real Life Street Star just to speak the truth to people that don't believe. It ain't no more scare straight. I see how they try to scare the kid. Movies, they don't scare straight. Some people, they can touch the fire. Some people can look at it. Some people got to touch it before they believe. I think this is for somebody that ain't got to touch the fire. And God allowed me to go through all that I went through to give you an opportunity to think and not get caught up in the system where you think that when you get out of here, it's going to make you a gangster or you're going to sell records. I'm like, rappers, they talking about, hey, he out something. Yeah, it builds up your records. That we know that. But watch this here. Some of them don't tell you. They almost been somebody's girl in prison. They don't tell y'all that. They don't tell y'all what that Reddit went down. Even though you cool, you got with somebody that, ran the prison and you got up on this wing or you got cool with them where you can fit in with the system. They don't tell you that because there's somebody in prison that's a little harder than you and already been there and you may be this and that. You all the gangster on the rap tape and you this and you a killer and you got bodies, you got all that. But in that penitentiary, you got up under somebody's wings. You ain't got that heart. You got up on, it might not be direct, but it's indirect, however you put it. Y'all did it in a way that you felt comfortable with it. And like, hey, little homie, what's up, man? I heard you out there doing your thing, baby boy. What's up, man? Man, I like you, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about nobody. Now, I'm good. Listen, man, you ain't got to worry about nobody messing because, hey, you know what I'm saying? We're going to see, man, penitentiary goes a long way, man. People can get you up in there. Then somebody say, well, did they do that with you? No, let me tell you why. Because when I went to Ferguson, my partner tried to look out for me. He said, that's my little home. Guess what I told him? You don't have to speak up for me, man. He said, well, no, you not. I said, listen, you don't have to speak up for me because I'm not scared. I didn't have that fear. Only thing I had to do is figure out how to make sure that they don't use my name in vain. And so, but some of you guys, and this is what Joker want me to share with y'all. Hey, man, you looking at somebody who survived because of the grace of God. I got sons out here that's out of control. I told him he heard about his dad. People know who I am in South Dallas. Everybody know. In prison, it ain't no secret. This ain't no Tupac music. This ain't no story. This ain't Meek. This ain't Power. This real. And the only reason why you see me, and I did we ain't told about how many contracts I had put out on me, how many times I almost got stabbed and they put a hit on. We just told you about some of it, but I'm sharing this with you because I think God allowed me to survive where I could be able to speak to that young man who think prison life is something to glorify in. Man, the biggest thing out of this story, I lost my mama. I don't know what it's gonna take for you to wake up. When I lost my mama, that opened my eyes. And God knew I had to lose my mama. When you can't go to your mama's funeral, when you there and you don't know when you coming out, that would hurt me. That would got my attention. Nothing else couldn't get my attention, but God knew it. God knew I was messed up. God knew I was trying to impress another man. God knew I was caught up in the system of the world, the system of the prison. God knew I was acting out of fear because a real man don't have to impress another man. I lived that whole years in prison. Everybody think I was tough. I was crazy. I lost my mind. I had dudes thought I was this and that, but none of them knew I was living in fear. None of them knew. They thought I was a gangster. I was tough. Why you say you living in fear? No, you was a little gangster. I see people all the time sending a dude to see me today. He said, "Are you little Eli?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, I saw you in Real Life Street Star." He said, "Man, I wish I can come over there with you." I tell him. Every time I see dude and they'll write and come, "Oh, he ain't lying." They'll say, "He just telling you some of it." They'll type, "Oh, he ain't lying." Only the people that don't know you knew that thinking you just up here like you see the other guy. They would tell you, no, he tell you, he saved me. He kept me from getting raped. He got me out of the game. He ran that little dude. If he said something, everybody done it. They would tell you that. But God done it because he knew that he was going to use this voice to try to help somebody. We know we can't save everybody, but if we can get one life changed, and then you know, man, if God can change me, here's the story. He can do it for you. If God can do it for this kid that should have been dead, this boy that been locked up in the system ever since he was 11 years old and got me out of prison, protect me from officers killing me, he had a purpose for me. God got a purpose for you. You don't have to go to prison to find out who you are, man. You don't have to lose your mama. You don't have to lose your family, reject your kids to prove to somebody you're a man or you're somebody. Man, be who you are, man, and let your real life be you. But anytime you try to impress a man, you're not real and you're not a gangster. Listen here, this is funny to me. Everybody that try to impress me and act like they're a gangster, I laugh at y'all. I really be laughing because I seen you guys in prison. I see what y'all do. I see how you fold up. So it's funny to me. You know, even if you walk up in the store and shoot up everybody, you go in your neighborhood. To me, I know you're not a gangster. You know how I know? Because when you get in that prison wall, you don't act that tough. I watch you. I watch dude. I ain't gonna say they named my homeboy and them. They was gangster in the world, but in the penitentiary, somebody running their meat up in them. I'm just telling you, that's the truth. They get raped, they get turned out. They ain't got the heart. Everybody got a heart to shoot a pistol. But in that penitentiary, if you ain't good in it, even if you're good in there, if you ain't good right here, you still in trouble. I outthink folks that have better hands than me, but they couldn't outthink me. That's the problem that you understand. So when you got this opportunity, you better take heed. Some of y'all will, some of you not. Some of you might make your little smart statement. Oh, he ain't all that. Well, ask your daddy. If you're locked up, ask your daddy that been in penitentiary. Ask him if Eli lied. Just ask your daddy. And I hope guys that see this video, please tell them, man. Tell them the truth. Just tell them. Just tell them the truth. Just tell them how God been good to me. Just tell them how I used to be. And then maybe they'll say, oh, that brother ain't lying. That's all I'm going to tell you. Ask them if I'm just making up something.
Come on. With that being said, we're just tapping the surface. There's many more stories there. We're going to get to them, but this is a great introduction. Once again, if you don't mind reintroducing yourself, tell them, and also tell them how many years you did.
Oh, I did 15 years flat.
15 years.
I had 40 years, supposed to get out 2027. Long time.
By the grace of God.
By the grace of God. Didn't think I was going to get out. I didn't think I was going to be here. This stuff is crazy.
Come on.
I can still remember living in a segregation. I had just broke an officer's nose and I was facing 75 years. And I was just still, I'm here. It's crazy. I'm really free. And sometimes I wake up thinking I'm locked up. That's stuff you got to always deal with. Sometimes I have dreams and I think I'm in prison and I have to slap myself. Just, hey man, you really out.
Come on.
You know, that's the mental problem that it messes you up with. You have dreams and think you're still there.
There you go, man. With that being said, Bishop Eli, Pastor Eli, as they know him, Lil Eli back in the day. This is Prison Stories 101, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.